This video is a lesson on using for or since in present perfect sentences. So just to give you a few examples so you have an idea of what I'm talking about, here's a few sentences. We have had problems with this car since we bought it. So that one uses since. And here's another one with since. I have been awake since 6 o'clock. And the next two sentences use for. We have been walking for 2 hours. We have been married for 10 years. Often, when we use the present perfect tense, we will say a point in time when something happened, or say how long something has been true. You have the choice of using for or since in a sentence. You choose based on what you want to say after for or since. Do you want to say a point in time or a length of time? Of course, these are very similar, so sometimes it's hard to know which one you are choosing. So we're going to use for with a length of time. Here's a few examples. She has been in the bathroom for 20 minutes. 20 minutes is a length of time, so we use for. I have had this job for 2 years. 2 years is a length of time, so we use for. My back has hurt for 3 months. 3 months is also a length of time, so we use for. She has been on a diet for 6 weeks. One more example. He hasn't had a job for a long time. So a long time is kind of unique because we don't know how much time that means. It's a relative term, but it's still a length of time, even though we don't know what length. So we use for. We will use since with a point in time. For example, she hasn't eaten since last night. So last night is a particular point in time, so then we use the word since. I have been working since 7 o'clock this morning. 7 o'clock is a point in time, so we use since. I have been in pain since I injured that should be my leg 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago is not as specific, but it is still specific enough to be a point in time. She has been fighting cancer since last year. Again, last year is not completely specific, but it is specific enough to use since. I haven't been here since I was a child. And I have lived here since 2010. Here we're using a year. So these are all examples where you will need the word since. And here is a chart to kind of give you some guidance. And on the left, we have phrases that need the word for length of time. On the right, we have phrases that use the word since because they are a point in time. So we say for 5 minutes, for 3 days, for 1 week, for 2 years, for a long time. And these phrases here, we use since. Since last night, since Thursday, since November, since 1998, since I was a child. So you can, one way to learn these is just to memorize which phrases use for and which phrases use since. But these are not complete lists. These could be much longer lists. These are just some examples. Now let's see how well you understand this. So I have some sentences here, and I want you to choose the correct sentence. So which do you think is correct? I have lived in Fortuna for 2 years. Or, I have lived in Fortuna since 2 years. Which of these is correct? The first one is correct. I have lived in Fortuna for 2 years. Because this is a length of time, 2 years. The next one. I have lived in Eureka since 2014, or I have lived in Eureka for 2014. Which one of these is correct? The first one. I have lived in Eureka since 2014. 2014 is a point in time, so we use since. The next one. I haven't been to the ocean for 6 months. I haven't been to the ocean since 6 months. Which one is correct? The first one is correct. 6 months is a length of time, so we use for. The last one. I haven't been to the ocean since July, or I haven't been to the ocean for July. Which one is correct? The first one is correct. I haven't been to the ocean since July. You might make an argument that July is not a point in time because it's a whole month. But in English, when we are using a month, we consider that a point in time, and so we use since. So if you got all of these correct, then I think you can be confident that you understand this well. If you did not get the answers correct, I would encourage you to watch this video again.